1.
Let's chat. Email that. Talking, texting, no, I can't hold back. No rest. Out of breath. Busy, dizzy, doing stuff, I'm stressed. Time out. God wants me to listen. My life now is on a mission. I'm ready.
When we first knew that she was missing an arm, it was via phone call.
Yeah, the doctor called me to let me know that she was missing her hand.
So we were told over the phone.
And I lost it. I mean, I was so upset just because we knew, because during that phone call he told us that because she had a physical anomaly, there could be something else wrong with her too, internally, heart, lungs, liver, kidneys, feet, something like that. So, of course, I was devastated. I was scared to death, what was going to be wrong with her. And we just talked about this last night, like when she was actually born and they handed her to us, I looked at Chris, I said, it's not bad. That's not bad. That's right. Nothing what I thought.
Yeah, and you think, oh, they said it's not bad, but the frame of mind we had about what it may look like, how much it may restrict her. Of course, we'd seen sonogram pictures where they point out, here's where the issue is. But yeah, as soon as she was born, I mean, we didn't see her as anything different.
No. If she could have had 2 hands and it would have been no different.
Growing up with a disability was interesting for me, and the more I kind of participate in the discourse of the disabled community, I think my experience was a lot different from what a lot of kids had. For me, I think I was accepting of the fact that I had a disability because I didn't really see myself as any different. That's been interesting to navigate because I think I saw myself as the same. So for a long time, it was like, yeah, okay, I have 1 hand, but it doesn't really make that big of a difference. And then the older I get, the more I'm noticing that it kind of does make a difference. So it's almost like having to re-accept that when it's become part of my conscious mind, when for so long I kind of pushed that away.
Other family members had quite a few concerns, my mom especially. She won't be able to swim, she won't be able to ride a bike.
She won't be able to crawl.
And it wasn't, saying that was going to be the case, it was just the fear of that. And I remember when she first learned how to ride a bike, and I mean, I was just amazed. Yeah. Absolutely amazed. We did all this stuff with Shriners, get her prosthetics and things like that. She never used it.
If she can do it without the prosthetic or figure out a way, then she's going to do it. I remember getting her fitted for one, and we did a little occupational therapy when we went down, because one of the things before she entered kindergarten is they wanted them to know how to tie their shoes. So when she was 4, we took her down, had her fit. They did some other things with her, taught her how to tie her shoes. We were in the van on the way home. Prosthetic was off because, we didn't want her to have to wear it the whole time on the way home. She goes, Mom, I tied my shoe. She did it without the prosthetic, literally on the way home after. She just needed them to show her how to do it with it, and she could figure out how to do it without it.
My parents never treated me any differently than they would treat any other person or child. And I think that made a big difference in how I saw myself.
I think from a very early age, we gave her every opportunity. If there was something she was interested in, we'd say, hey, go for it, whether it was hockey or karate or soccer.
Yeah, I don't remember a time where I wasn't doing sports. My mom signed me up for youth soccer when I was 3, and I always loved playing that. I played soccer for 10 years. I played soccer and hockey. I played volleyball in high school, and I tried basketball, and I wasn't very good at basketball. But I love sports. I love all the different sports I've played, from having most of my younger experience being team sports and now moving into a sport that is a little bit more individual. The competitive aspect of it is something that I've always valued a lot, and I think I bring that into everything I've done in life, and that goes back to having been around competition since I can remember. It's always been a part of my life. I can't remember even a period of 6 months where I wasn't competing.
I had never considered track and field, especially even with throwing events. I'd never considered that. No. And then when she got into it, I thought, well, this is perfect. You only need 1 hand for that.
The thing that stood out to me when I recruited Noelle the most was her lust for life, her passion, her exuberance for everything that she did. It was a lot about her character and a lot about her goals and her passion, her competitiveness. Something that we always look for is competitiveness. She, above anything, just wants to be the best. And when you come across this as a coach, you snap people like that up.
She challenges all of us every day. You know, she's really good at the squats in the weight room. You know, really good. She squats more than everybody basically on the team. She's really good at almost every lift. So, I mean, she challenges us in that way. She just challenges us all to be better people. You know, she's always such a happy, joyful person. So, I mean, when you feel down, you know, Noelle comes over and is like, hey, what's wrong, you know? Why can't, you know, you be happy, you know? So she challenges all of us in many ways.
The best part of being a student athlete is being able to continue competing and enjoying the activity that I've enjoyed through my entire life. I've loved being an athlete since I was, you know, able to compete in like youth soccer, and having the opportunity to continue doing that at a high level, and I mean into my 20s, is something that I don't take for granted.
I think her biggest challenge, at least from my perspective, would be how other people looked at her. And I don't know what that did to her mentally. I know what it did to me. You know, there's that sense of anger, and then there's that sense of sorrow for her. But no matter what I'm feeling, how that affected her, I could never guess. My guess is it's probably the most important thing that affected her, I would say.
One of the challenges of having a disability is the comparing myself to people who don't have a disability. I think the best example of this is in the weight room. I love lifting and I love being strong, and there are some lifts that I can do just like anybody else would. I can back squat just like anybody else would, and that's exciting for me because I feel like I'm able to keep up with my teammates and even kind of exceed that sometimes. But then there are other lifts like bench press where I just have to accept that I will probably never be as good as my teammates will. And that's a big challenge for me because I am so competitive. It's hard to know that there might be a reason why I can never achieve the same things that somebody with two hands can. Especially knowing that I'm so strong, and it's always the wondering, well, if I had two hands, how much better would I be? Even with like weight throw, I know that for as good as I am, having such a difference that doesn't allow me to throw it like anybody else would, there's always the wonder that, oh, if I had two hands, I wonder how good I would be at this. I think that can be really frustrating if I have a difficult meet and I see what everyone else is able to do, and I know that I'm working just as hard, and just knowing that there's something that I can't outwork and there's something that will always hold me back.
When you are as competitive and driven as she is, you tend to want to beat yourself up a lot, and that keeps you going. What we're finding especially this year, third year we've worked together, is that she is accepting more of, learning how to take mistakes as not a failure, but as a learning tool. And that in itself is making her a stronger athlete and a stronger person, which is crazy because she's one of the strongest people I know. She's incredibly hard on herself, and it's a motivator. I need to do this or I need to do that. What I can show her is that she can be hard on herself, but still be very honest with the fact that she is succeeding. It's hard to accept that you're succeeding and keep moving forward. But that's one of the grand things that we have to learn in life is be successful in whatever you're doing, but then let that leapfrog into doing more.
I need to compare myself to just where I've been and look at my progress for who I am and for what I'm able to do, rather than looking at the deficiencies, I guess.
Last year, we had this back and forth, Noelle and I, about doing Paralympics, and she really wanted to understand why she was doing it. What I told Noelle is that while you've had a great upbringing with amazing parents, there are other young children, boys and girls out there that just don't know what's out there. Maybe they haven't had the same inspiration. Maybe they haven't had the same support. And don't you want to be a part of that solution? Don't you want to be that inspiration? And it was like night and day. It just turned on a dime.
There are so many amazing things about being a student athlete with a disability, and one of them is visibility. I think visibility is so important for any community, and the more that people with disabilities kind of get out into places where they have been underrepresented for so long, the better that serves everyone in the community. And I think it just perpetuates the idea that an athlete can look like anything. Athletes look so many different ways, and sometimes they have one hand and sometimes they have two, and they can work just as hard and be just as amazing as anybody else.
She's looking forward to being in Paris in 2024, and I told her I'd be there with her, and we're super excited about training for that.
All of the negative aspects that come with it, that require more work, that take a little bit more mental energy to work through, are always worth it to me, because I know that I'm representing a community that I'm proud to represent, and I'm kind of working to make even a small change in how people view athletes and how they view what an athlete can look like and how an athlete might approach any given circumstance.